All right, good evening, everyone. It's 7 o'clock. I'm going to call the May 14th meeting of the Granby Planning and Zoning Commission to order. If you can please rise for the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, next we'll do a commission check-in. I'm Mark Lockwood, the commission chair. I'll start from my right.
Eric Lukingbeal, member.
Christine Cheney, member.
Eric Myers, vice chair.
Bob Lavitt, member. Steve Muller, member.
Meg Bailey, alternate.
Paula Johnson.
And Commissioner Shahan's out today, so Meg will be sitting in Paula's, as she announces with us as well. Okay, next on the agenda is public session. Does any member of the public in here or on Zoom wish to speak to the commission? P&Z matter not on the agenda or subject to a public hearing? Is anyone in the room? Anyone on Zoom? Okay, none being seen, we'll close public session. Next is item 5, action on the minutes from April the 23rd. Any comments from that?
They look good to me.
Looks fine.
No comments, I'll take a motion.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
The motion is second to approve the minutes as presented. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained?
Abstain.
Abstain.
We have 2 abstentions, otherwise minutes carry. Next on the agenda is item 6. We have 2 public hearings this evening. First public hearing is for a special permit for an arcade on Sandbrook Street. Vice Chair Myers, could you please read the call to the hearing?
There will be a public hearing conducted by the P&Z on Tuesday, May 14, 2024 at 7 p.m. in the Granby Town Hall Meeting Room, 15 North Granby Road, to hear and consider the following item. Application seeking a special permit under zoning regulation 3.8.2.10 for an arcade for property located at 510 Sandbrook Street, Suite 4, I-Zone file Z-8-74. At the hearing, 24. At the hearing, interested persons may appear and written communications will be received. Copies of the proposals are on file in the Community Development Office.
Is there applicant or the representative here?
Yeah.
My name is James.
Okay. James, if you just want to state a little bit about what you're planning to do and the activity up there. We have your narrative, but just want to explain.
Yeah, so I opened a park here recently at the location you're talking about. I have some classic arcade machines like pinball, those whole upright Pac-Man cabinets, things like that. I have another section I have is some modern video games for like Nintendo Switches. And then my big primary focus that I have is actually virtual reality. So I have some spots where there's like individual virtual reality, and then one zone that I call Arena, which is multiplayer virtual reality, where I can do virtual reality escape rooms or multiplayer games, a bunch of different activities like that. I do birthday parties. That's kind of the big piece that we've been having a lot of so far. Anywhere from 8 kids to 12 kids, and each kind of has different packages and a lot of different options for it. Like I said, it's really been a lot of.
We lost you.
The big feature I have.
We lost the last part there. Yeah, we lost you at the last part there.
Okay, so I kind of finished up with the main feature of what I have there is virtual reality. There's 2 different individual areas that have a focus with the virtual reality options.
What hours do you usually operate?
So I'm open from Wednesday to Saturday, 12 to 9, and Sunday to 12 to 4. I have had a couple of parties on Saturdays that start at 11 a.m., but like I said, mostly everything's within the hours of my own operation.
Abby, any comments, questions, information from staff?
So just a little bit more context for this. So it's actually brought to our attention that the arcade was operating at this location. It is considered a commercial recreational use, which does require special permit approval. So that's when the zoning enforcement official and I stopped by and informed James that he did need to come in for the special permit. And he did go ahead and submit this application. But we have no concerns about the operation as described or what we observed, see when we visited.
Did you participate in the virtual reality?
No.
I brought up the hours, do we have, I know we have other hours for the restaurant that's there. Does that have to be something that would be in the
It does
special permit?
not have to be unless it's something that the commission is inclined to set.
Questions from the commission to the applicant?
No question.
No questions. Have there been any incidents involving guests bringing alcohol into this establishment?
Not at the moment. I've had a few people ask me about it, and it's something that I'm not really ready to introduce yet, just because of the virtual reality piece is very new to a lot of people. So I don't want to. It's hard for me to judge who can handle what kind of level of alcohol that they bring or anything like that. So I've been denying any use of it, just because, like I said, I'm more worried about keeping making sure that they're being safe as well as not breaking any of my equipment.
I noticed the application expressly said no alcohol. If we do later vote in favor of this, I would suggest that we put in something noting that, and if he wants to get a permit in the future, he can apply for it then.
Okay. Yeah, and the only thing I would ever possibly down the line consider is if I was to do like a 21 plus, I know I've met with a few other new businesses that do like cash bars, indoor stuff like that. That may be something down the line, but like I said, right now I haven't been doing any alcohol in there.
Right.
James, just if the commission, we do have some of the businesses, like the restaurant stuff, we do have hours of operation. If the commission, and this isn't what we're doing, this is an idea, if we did something like 9 a.m. to 11 p.m., 7 days a week, does that meet what your current and potential future business goals would be? Is that, and again, I'm not saying that's what we're doing, it's just throwing that out as an idea.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I'm starting out small. It's just me. I left my previous job to do this 100% full time. As I hope the business is able to grow to a point where I can extend my hours, offer out, and be able to bring in employees, so I can be operational more hours. But I just, to avoid burnout on my end, I kind of looked at other arcades in the state and other ones just across the country. Along my research I did, trying to find what kind of prime hours were, and that's kind of where I settled on my current hours right now. But like, so down the line, I'd definitely like to expand on that as I grow.
Thank you. Anything else?
It's not really a residential area
No.
around there anyway. It's an industrial zone, so it's not, I don't think it's going to bother people if he's open.
I think it's a nice addition to the town. It's another, particularly another place to have kids' birthday parties. I think it sounds like a good thing to our businessmen.
Yep.
We'll just offer if any member of the public would like to speak on this application, please come forward or announce yourself on Zoom. Don't see anyone on Zoom or here. James, have anything else you want to add before we close the hearing?
I think I'm pretty thorough. You guys have any other questions for me?
Abby, you were good? Yes. Okay. No other questions or comments? We'll close the public hearing. The commission has up to 65 days to make a decision, but we'll be discussing it later this evening. Thank you. Good luck. Okay, next on our agenda is item B, application seeking a permit for a garage on Silver Street. Want to read the call of the hearing, please?
There will be a public hearing conducted by the P&Z on Tuesday, May 14, 2024 at 7 p.m. in the Granby Town Hall Meeting Room, 15 North Granby Road, to hear and consider the following item. An application seeking a special permit under zoning regulations, section .1.3.4 for a garage in excess of 1,000 square feet for property located at 279 Silver Street, R2A zone, file Z-9-24. At the hearing, interested persons may appear and written communications will be received. Copies of the proposals are on file in the Community Development Office.
Applicants here, just want to introduce yourself and address, please?
Sure. My name is Derek Stiles. I live at 279 Silver Street with my wife and 3 kids. We've been there for 5.5 years now. Thank you for hearing my application for the detached garage. I only have I've only ever done this once for my Eagle Scout project, so hopefully I know what to say. It was mentioned that I should go over the siding and what it'll look like. So it'll be a pewter colored vinyl board and batten from Georgia Pacific, and it will have dual black colored asphalt shingles. The garage doors will be white with an X style, and then clear, probably 6 window style, clear windows on it. The only lights I plan on putting on it are one light facing down over each garage doors, and then motion detection lights, mostly just for security, so if something moves, they turn on. The windows, the front window facing the street matches my colonial house, which is a traditional 5/4 windows. They're all the same, so we wanted to bring that to the garage so it'll fit from the street and look the same. All the other windows are south, there's 4 south facing and then 1 other facing west. It'll be primarily just to store vehicles, lawn equipment and whatnot, to maintain my 2 acres, and then I bought the open lot behind my house for a total of 12 acres, adjoining.
Staff concerns or comments?
No, I think that covers everything.
It looks like, put some thought into it and looks, put some nice plants together from my side. I don't have any questions.
No.
No questions.
No, I like this application, it's just, if we do approve it, understand that if you were ever to want to convert that office into housing, an apartment, you would need to come in front of us again, because we are not approving an apartment there.
It's reaching,
Okay.
yeah, it'll just be for work area.
Yeah.
If any members of the public that are here or on Zoom would like to comment on this application, please make yourself known. I don't see anyone else in the room but Paula. I don't see anyone on Zoom that's raising their hand. So if we don't have anything else, I don't subsequent questions, so we're good. So we'll close the public hearing. The commission has up to 65 days to make a decision, but we'll be discussing it later on the agenda. Thank you. Okay, next is item 7, receive applications and schedule hearings. Abby, I see you have 3 listed here, if you want to go through those with us.
So the first application is an application seeking a special permit for a barn in excess of 600 square feet and within 100 feet of a street, and that's for 133 Granville Road. The second is a special permit for a restaurant serving alcoholic beverages for 10 Hartford Avenue. This is one of the units over in the plaza right here in the center of town. And then the third one is an application for site plan modification for a 3,000 square foot building addition for 557 Salmon Brook Street. This is one of the commercial properties just down from where that the commission recently heard another application for the woodworking operation. So the commission meets next on May 28th. In addition to these applications, there is also the public hearing scheduled for Cider Mill Heights for the 28th. But I would suggest that the commission's in agreement that all of these are on for the 28th. I am currently reviewing a couple other applications that came in that I anticipate will go on for the meeting in June, so to keep things moving.
Is everyone, as of now, here that it's at the day after Memorial Day? Is everybody here?
I'm going to be taking a trip to Ireland from May 22nd to 28th. So I don't know exactly when I get back on the 28th, and I don't know what kind of condition I'll be in. That was a reference to time zone change, it's not alcohol.
Really?
You're Ireland.
Yeah.
Everybody else is around?
Yes.
Yeah, we're good.
Thanks. Well, we'll set those for the 28th then. Thank you, Aaron. Okay, item 8, consideration of applications where the commission has concluded the hearing. We concluded the hearing for 2 hearings today. The first was for the arcade at Salmon Brook Street. And I think it fits into the plaza and its recreational needs, so I didn't see any issues, and the only thing I brought up was if the commission said, I think the restaurant's limited, we thought on an hours thing, otherwise I don't see any issues with it.
So I don't, I don't see any issues whatsoever. I think it's great. I'm actually surprised to see this application here. I was a little bit perplexed as to why this was needed in the industrial zone, but if that's in the code, it's in the code. I must have missed that part. As far as the hours go, I think it would be inconsistent. It's not a restaurant. The other business in there don't have hours limited. If it's not required, I say we not encumber the application.
Actually, the Mexican restaurant has the same hours.
But it's a restaurant. It's not a restaurant.
Oh, this is not a
You missed that.
restaurant?
Yeah,
Okay.
there's plenty of other businesses in there that are not restaurants, and I don't think we should encumber the application if it's not
Do you know
required.
if we have any
They
other?
just do like soda and candy.
I'm not aware of any other businesses in there with hours.
Okay.
In fairness, I haven't looked at, like, I know there's some.
But again, it's not
establishments.
required except in the restaurant, I believe code, correct? Where hours of operation are addressed?
Yeah, so the commission under the special permit has the ability to assign conditions if you feel it's necessary to mitigate any concerns.
I don't. I do not.
The way that this thing came in front of the planning department was a complaint about guests at the arcade bringing alcohol and leaving bottles broken in the parking lot. And he's noted in his application, he is not seeking to serve alcohol. So I would just ask that if we do approve this, that the approval note that no alcohol, including BYOB.
So I guess just as a point of clarification on that, that's guided very specifically by alcohol regulations in the state, and we have been hesitant to trample on that in the past.
Yeah, I would be hesitant to put in a provision about BYOB. I think something,
I know we've been hesitant to it because
Okay.
alcohol has its own, I'm just bringing it up about that.
Okay, understood. It's
It
never
has its
come
own
up.
very specific.
It hasn't come up while
guidelines.
I've been here before.
They have to follow all the laws. You can't serve the minors.
They can't serve alcohol without a permit, period.
we do
Well,
have.
they can't have minors come in.
Yeah.
They can't facilitate, even if they're not serving it. So
Yeah. It's
I think
obviously a business that attracts children.
And we do have section 8.3 where if they were to provide or serve, then they would have to come back to modify.
Okay, so that's fine then.
yeah, I think we don't have that for any place else. I mean, the restaurant right next door was doing BYOB.
Okay.
So I think it's fine.
Okay.
If there's no other discussion, take a motion.
I move that the commission approve the application seeking a special permit under zoning regulation section 3.8.2.10 for an arcade for property located at 518 Salmon Brook Street, Suite 5, I-Zone, file Z-8-24.
Before a second, suggestion to modify your motion for Suite 4, not Suite 5.
Suite 4, yes.
Okay. Do we have a second as modified?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstained, motion carries. Next is an application for a special permit under the regulations for a garage in excess of 1,000 square feet on Silver Street. Again, I thought a very straightforward application. You have the plans, looks nice. The commission didn't have any discussion, so if there's no other discussion, take a motion.
I move that we approve the application as submitted.
Second.
We have a motion, a second, to approve the special permit for the property for the garage at 279 Silver Street. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstained, motion carries.
To save the heavy hitter, there's actually something.
Okay, next is item 9, commission review and discussion of a proposed solar facility at 90 Sannabrook Street and 35 Floyd Mill Road. Abby, I was not able to attend the information hearing, but Abby did give us some more info in the packet, and I'll turn this part over to you.
Sure. So back in March, many of you were able to attend the multi-board meeting that was held over at the senior center where the folks from the solar company presented. They outlined their plans for the solar facility at 90 Salmonbrook Street and 35 Floydville Road here in Granby, recognizing that also there will be portion of the project is in East Granby. So at that time, boards and commissions had an opportunity to ask questions, comment on the proposal. The first selectman had asked all boards and commissions to kind of go back, look at the plans, come back to the board with any questions or comments by the end of May. So between March and today, I had asked Broadleaf to prepare some more detailed plans to provide a little bit more of a closer look as to exactly what they're proposing instead of a high-level concept plan, which they presented initially. So these certainly aren't fully engineered. And I understand that it is an iterative process, and certainly they are looking for feedback from the town as they develop plans. So I understand, why they didn't come back with fully engineered plans. So here is what they have come back with. So they are showing the layout of the panels. You'll see as you kind of flip through the pages, they're roughly in the same locations as the existing hoop houses. They have shown some setback distances from wetlands. You can refer to the key there with the 50-foot wetland setback and 100-foot wetland setback. You can see the dashed gray line for proposed fencing, the access roads, throughout the property shown in yellow. It's a little hard to see in some areas, but they do show some additional proposed tree clearing, which it looks like it's largely, to be able to get those access roads in. And also it looks like, there might be some around the perimeter to prevent shading on the panels. So I don't know if the commission has had an opportunity to look at this in advance, if you're prepared to offer any comments that we can convey back to the Board of Selectmen, or if you want to think about it, we can take it up on May 28th. If there's anything I can do between now and then, kind of open to discussion and comments on that.
They stated at that hearing that they were going to make efforts to screen the panels from the view, which I think is good. One of the big concerns I would have would be at some of the intersections, if there's shiny light coming off of them, that it could be a traffic hazard. So that particularly is of concern to me, with the intersections be protected from that sort of light.
Okay.
They discussed having fencing, limiting access to the site. I asked whether there had ever been any incidents with kids or anything encountering the wiring, and they said basically that the panels themselves are not a electrocution hazard because the voltage coming out of an individual panel is relatively low, and that it said, I think they called it the inverter house, that the real, where all the wires come together. And obviously they, we want them to make efforts to protect that. They are going to have a fence around it. They're more concerned, actually. They said they've had incidents of kids throwing rocks at the panels. And I think they're more worried about that than they are about people getting electrocuted, because the risk of electrocution seems to be very mild with these things. My personal perception is I actually kind of like this use. It leaves the land open. It generates more tax revenue than the current usage. And a lot, if you had, I don't know how many houses you could build there or how many apartments, you'd have a lot more kids going to school. You'd have a ton more traffic. This thing supposedly is going to generate less traffic than the current use of the nursery, which I like. Not wild about I never even knew that the siting council even existed. It reminds me of the first line of the Beatles song, Taxman, let me tell you how it shall be. We don't have a lot of discretion here. If this was a nuclear power plant, which is something the siting council has the ability to rule on as well, I'd be very worried. But this actually I like, so it doesn't bug me that much, but it is kind of an affront to my democratic instincts.
To speak directly to the glare comment, I think they talked about it. at
They
the
did.
school, And
They
how
did.
there's an anti-glare material,
Yeah.
but
Yeah, because we were worried about the neighbors too with the glare.
people brought that up a few times, so
Yeah.
we can get the exact material that makes it that, if that's a concern.
And I do want to point out too, so there is an open house scheduled for May 22nd from 5 to 7:30 in the senior center. And it's a forum where folks can come and kind of mill about, ask questions. And we have been in touch with Broadleaf about reaching out directly to abutters. So they are certainly receptive, and I know they've had a few conversations with folks who live immediately adjacent to the project. So certainly I'm sure that their concerns can be addressed when it comes to glare and also some of the landscaping and screening as well.
Yeah, I would like to know more about what the screening is going to look like.
Yeah, I'd like to talk to them and maybe even walk the site and figure out what their screening ideas are. Because there's some places where it's visible from a public road, other places where it's not, and there's an awful lot you can do with landscaping, and it all gets a little complicated because the whole thing is potentially timed out after 25 years. So what do you plant that'll be good in time to achieve the protection from glare and view that some people want? But at the end of 25 years, we could be left with something really nice if we do the landscaping right. Because who knows what's going to happen in 25 years?
They said they have to decommission it, I believe.
No, they
don't.
They were very artful, so let's not be slap about it. They will renew their permit. It will last another 100 years, so.
Yeah, I would think that it might be 250 years.
As long
As they're making money off of it, they're going to keep renewing it.
as long as solar cells are profitable.
I'm
Exactly.
sure there'll be updates and various things.
They will replace the panels when they
Yeah.
end their useful life. They will renew their permit and they will keep operating. No
Big
business is going to put the
commitment.
amount of infrastructure that is going to be required in the ground to run a megawatt facility of this size and let it go in 25
I
years.
tend to agree with that.
Yeah.
It makes
I think
sense to me.
Yeah,
That's
but
good that we're clarifying that.
Yeah, but I was, listen, they were two great guys that came to the presentation. They were very genuine, very personal, but they were very tactical.
I didn't come to the meeting, but I did watch it. Tactical's a good word.
They were very tactical. They knew what to say and how to say it.
Been around this block before.
Yeah, this is not the first rodeo, filling with your favorite cliche.
Knowing we don't have a lot of say in here, which has already been said, there was a good discussion about the corner of Floydville and 20. Has there been any other thoughts from the Board of Selectmen in that?
It's not showing as solar panels.
Well, no, but you missed the meeting.
Yeah.
They are offering that land up to someone for an alternative use. And there was supposed to be some discussion about how that offer was going to get, they intend to sell it, lease it.
Yep.
And even part of the land across the street on the other side too, that
Yeah, so.
both sides of the street.
Yep, there was early discussions about retaining the two carve-outs. So what you'll see here around the existing office and then also on the south side of Floydville Road, so at that intersection. So it have the added benefit of not only pushing the panels back from Sandberg Street, but also preserving some future economic development carve-outs there. So I do anticipate that will be discussed further with the Board of Selectmen, and there will be,
It hasn't been discussed.
not that I'm aware of at this point.
Because I was going to ask that,
Beyond what was-
Bob, this is actually not resident, this is actually on paper, and I'm looking to Commissioner Johnson, and so this is our economic development zone.
Right.
So this was not housing and
It
that.
wasn't going to be that.
It was.
It could have been.
Could have been, but.
Yeah.
Like, sort of like
It
commercial.
could have been a shopping mall, but people stopped building shopping.
Correct, but so we have to look, and that's, I was gonna ask what Eric's question is, I saw that there's nothing on the plan.
Yeah.
What's the intent, and what's the selectmen thinking about, because I know there's.
Right.
There was just an open discussion at the meeting about the art of, they were looking for an idea and we were supposed to bring them some ideas.
And so that, I guess that's a question too for this commission. If you think that those two carve-outs are absolutely necessary and, this commission wants that, I think that's important to communicate that to the Board of Selectmen so they know
I
that.
think we
there's-
do want
We
that.
do want it, but the caveat is that how are they going to offer it to us?
Does the commission have a preference?
I think they should make it available for sale. or at least.
Well, I think it really has to come to the Board of Selectmen and or the Board of Finance. What's the cost for it? Is it they're just donating it, or is there a tax
So-
abatement?
Right, so that's a good point, because, as was stated during the multi-board meeting, so when they developed in East Windsor, so they, executed a tax stabilization agreement with them. And then I believe that there was also a one-time payment, development fee, if you will. So I certainly anticipate that if there is discussion with the Board of Selectmen, Board of Finance about any sort of tax stabilization or some sort of agreement and a payment, certainly I would assume that if land is also being offered, that would impact what that looks like.
Right.
So that's something that will certainly have to be weighed and analyzed, to see what makes the most sense.
Don't have it memorized, but I'm fairly certain our Plan of Conservation and Development has this area. So from a commission standpoint, retaining that fits in with our plan. Right, but it has to be the Board of Selectmen, obviously, the stewards of the town, have to make sure it makes sense. But I think from a purely,
We would like to see it
Yes.
if they believe it's desirable and feasible, certainly we believe it's desirable.
yes.
Well, we don't have the ability to tell the siting council it's not an approved use, but if they had just come to us without going through the siting council, would solar farm be an approved use on this site?
So, under regulations that the commission adopted, by special permit, there can be standalone solar facilities. But again, there's specific criteria that have to be met, and certainly it would be under the threshold that would trigger the siting council approval. So the commission
I
has.
think that's it's moot, because
It's moot.
Connecticut is, we couldn't even consider without the siting council, it's this, I think it's 1 or 2 megawatts.
Yeah.
You can't even have it, so. Even if our regulations allowed it, so, like you said, the siting council is.
Yeah,
taking them in.
It really trumps us, basically.
yeah.
This is just, again, I apologize, but I saw the old railroad right-of-way is still here. Are they moving the rail trail
No.
down the middle? They're gonna keep
No,
it?
as far as I know, it is the plan to keep it as is.
And a safe distance and,
That's actually the only part of the rail trail that goes in Granby is that little,
That's right.
Sorry.
Which that one little section.
put a toll gate on it.
There's kind of a cool farmhouse, but I think it's East Granby there. So it's not something we can really concern ourselves with.
Yeah.
Any idea what they're doing with that, or?
I don't.
None of our business, I guess.
I think, Abby, from what I'm hearing, I mean, we have the safety concerns with glare, and I think they have to address that.
Yeah.
But screening, and I like what Eric said, we've kind of started this screening recommendation of these berms, and we keep mentioning the Stop and Shop type thing, and you'll have that continue down Sandbrook, sounds like.
Yeah, I think that's right.
even along Floydville.
You know, Floydville, so
All the way down.
the screening and landscape, don't plant like 25 arborvitae's here and there,
Yeah, well, they already fortunately made a nice comment about arborvitae's not being
Yeah.
exactly what they're looking for.
I think the commission would be interested in the screening and landscaping, the glare, and then we just talked about
The carve out.
the carve-outs.
Fencing, which I think they're planning anyway, but I don't want kids getting in there. And I don't think they want kids getting in there.
I think we can trust them to,
Yeah.
that's in their interest.
It's definitely in their
They'll
interest.
address it.
I don't know, it used to be a kid, believe
We
me.
would have never gone there.
Yeah.
We would have never gone in there, right? With a dirt bikes
I'm going in there.
The attractive vehicles.
I don't think it's an unattractiveness.
Anything else from?
In tobacco fields either.
Does anybody think this will actually lower our electric bills?
No,
It will.
no, so they made it, just,
It's
it's not for us.
Yeah.
We don't get that.
No.
Eversource will not be buying power.
Oh, Eversource is not even gonna buy it.
No,
No, it goes out, just going out of state.
Nothing in Granby.
Wow.
nothing in this.
No.
Nothing in the state.
No.
They mentioned it, again, they were very artful that Eversource won't buy from them. And I assume Eversource wants a better rate.
Something about drinking out of a fire hose. They're the fire.
Yeah.
Mark, can I say?
Absolutely, go ahead.
And the screening, if this is the same group that's on Hoskins Road, they've done a very poor job. It's a tree here, so screening is going to be really important working with them. And also special care, Hunt Glen, there are several other neighborhoods. That's where you really have to
Yeah.
put the pedal to the metal.
It's interesting that you say that. I've seen the East Windsor's installation as well, and I would not call that well screened.
Well, you should look at the Simsbury one. It is not nice.
So Abby, just as a point of clarification on this as well.
See the East Windsor one?
Where a lot of sites that we give site plan approval, we can be reasonably directive regarding berm screening and whatnot. I believe in this particular case, we should merely make recommendations, correct?
Correct.
But it sounds like they're open to listening to us.
Yes.
Sounds like, but we're
Yeah.
hearing some feedback on their other locations that, wondering what they agreed to, and what they did.
Yeah, but I do think the feedback certainly, Hunt Glen, some of the neighborhoods to the south there that immediately butt it. And then if the commission's, specifically concerned about Salmon Brook Street and the view from Salmon Brook Street primarily, I think if we give them targeted areas, that would help.
Agreed.
Yeah, I definitely am concerned about the look of it on Salmon Brook Street.
Yes.
I think we all are.
Very much so.
Do we know, do they have a source of water? Monrovia must have had a lot of water sources there.
Yes.
So they've got a source of water. And so maybe they could irrigate whatever they plant as screening.
That's a good question. I do know that they have been working with DEEP on some of the irrigation issues and
Okay.
figuring out.
It would be
But yeah, that is an
It would be
interesting.
nice to know because
Yeah, if it
you've
needs
got a
some
lot
of
more
that.
flexibility if you can provide irrigation to
Sure.
whatever you plant. You don't have to do it forever, but
Sure.
To get it
I'm
started.
sure they have to wash these things too. They get dirty.
Yeah, it's, well, especially so close to the road.
Yeah. At this time of year, the problem.
Oh, yeah. The driveway.
Anything else? Is that feedback good? Ed?
Yes, that's great. Thank you.
And then you said that they're having another open house on the 22nd?
Yes, May 22nd is posted on our website. We sent out notification, I think, to all the subscribers. And we do have a web page through community development where we've been posting plans and other materials as they become available. So folks can check things out.
Thank you. Oh, we're back to you again, Abby. Staff report and correspondence.
Just a couple follow-up items from our last meeting. I have been in touch with the property owner of 371 North Granby Road, so the zoning enforcement official and I are monitoring that. We have given them until early June to start to achieve compliance, and then after that date, we'll figure out next steps. So I just want everyone to know that we are staying on top of that. I did check in with Station 280 about the status of the wall. I haven't heard back yet, so I don't have anything new to report on that. But I did want to let you know that I am looking into that as well. And that's all I.
Thanks for writing on the 371 North Granby.
Yeah.
That's very subjective, but it looks worse.
Wait, you should see it tonight.
I just drove by it. It's like, so if we're working on compliance, what do you think, Chris?
I think the same thing. I actually noticed something specific that's new that I wanted to make sure I brought to your attention. He put black tarps over some of the machines in front. That is not helpful.
You should see it tonight.
And it does not make it look better. It makes it look worse.
well, plus I drove by there today. It is so crowded in front that there was a pickup truck parked there.
In the road.
Yes.
Delivering something and it's sticking out into the roadway.
That's right.
I go
I
by
saw
it every
that
night on
too.
my way
Too.
home.
So-
Yeah, so it's really, it's almost like it's one step forward, two steps
But I
back.
will say there was a trailer out there with a bunch of old lawnmowers thrown out like he's bringing it to scrap metal. So I don't know if that's part of the
Okay,
plan.
well, good.
Yeah, I think you'll have another update if the zoning enforcement's working with him and if you see progress, but if there's not progress, let us know.
Yeah, because at some point, we cut this guy all the slack. We should.
Abby, leaving the center on Route 20 out towards Heartland, the state started what I always consider to be step one of
resurfacing. They did storm basin replacement, and they're
Yep.
actively doing it all the way up. Are they going to pave as part of the project?
I don't know.
Okay. Just curious.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
There's a sign came that way, it says something about Connecticut repave. There was a sign, I think they're gonna be.
Connecticut repaves or something like that.
Yeah.
I thought I saw that too.
Because they almost always replace.
Yeah, catch basins before they do that.
First.
Yeah, I was told by somebody who would seem to have knowledge that they're planning to repave the whole thing in June.
I will check on that.
Yeah, I don't know. Might want to put, if indeed they are, throw something on the town site for
Yep.
traffic and whatnot. Grind, I'm sure they'll grind and do their thing.
Mill.
Mill. Yeah.
All right. Any commission reports or information of discussion?
When we walked as a town center study, which I think all of you will be interested in, is the area behind Geisler's and La Fragata. There was a lot of trash and it wasn't looking good. Now there are trees planted there and most of the trash is picked up. So it's good news.
Nice.
Good.
I think there's a pair of hawks nesting there. Those really tall trees, so.
Well, these are the small ones that they planted to someday be tall, but yeah.
Anything else? If there's nothing else, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved. Second.
We have a motion and a second to adjourn. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstained. We are adjourned.